Tonight on Behind the Details with Chelsea, we sit down with special guest Adam Hindman. He doesn't normally look like this. In fact, this is what I normally see from him. He's the owner of Detailers of Sarasota, a mobile detailing business in Sarasota, Florida. And not only is he living the dream, working on high-end exotic cars, as well as classic cars, but Adam is making big moves within the industry with things like this.
Good morning, you guys. We're up here at Cars and Coffee. We just got the booth set up. Let me show you. We got the jet ski out. Last minute Father's Day gifts. We got our gift cards bagged up, ready to go. Model cars for all the kids. Come take your pick. Like I said, we're going to send them on their way with a gym bag. Got a little car wash kitten here for them.
It seems like Adam has been firing on all cylinders lately, from his social media presence to the work that he's been putting out for his customers. I'm really excited to sit down with Adam to find out more of his story, what inspired him to take his business to the next level, and what it cost him. Because when you go big like this, sometimes it comes at a cost. So tonight, I'm excited to sit down with Adam to find out a little bit more about Detailers of Sarasota and how you can make it big in this business. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. All right, everybody. I am super stoked for this conversation with Adam, and I'm so glad that you guys could join us tonight over at Behind the Details with Chelsea. I am honored to have Adam Hindman. We've been chatting a little bit and talking behind the scenes before the podcast aired, and already I'm like excited for what is to come. I know it's not going to be anything that I expect because you are a little bit of a
I'm a little unexpectable.
You are, and I think I'm looking forward to having this conversation. So if you guys have any questions for Adam, let us know your questions in the comment section. We're going to get to them later on in the show. But as I said in the intro, Adam, you are Detailers of Sarasota, which I see you all over social media within the different detailing Facebook groups and things like that. And I've been so impressed with some of the things that you do, like to the point where I'm like, holy cow, like this guy is not holding back. And I think that sometimes we have this understanding within the industry that to get big, you got to go big. And I think some people are really scared to do that. And so I'm kind of excited to hear your take on going big, what has worked for you, what hasn't, and hopefully this can inspire many people who maybe are dreaming of being a detailer or a mobile detailer on what steps they need to take to go to that next level. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, Chelsea, thanks for having me. About going big, I mean, that just sparked a thought in my head that when I first got the idea to start a detailing business, I went from first conception idea that popped in my head to moving, this was in St. Louis, to moving, driving in my new Transit to Florida in 2 weeks. So I think a lot of people just spend too much time thinking, planning, brainstorming, whatever you want to call it, instead of action. And that kills so many people. I mean, you got to just be able to take action quickly. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's been helping me is just don't overthink, move, action every day.
You sound like Jason Otterness. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Well, Chicago, or not Chicago, but what's
Car Supplies Warehouse.
Car Supplies Warehouse, yes. Yeah, Jason's an awesome guy.
He kind of has that same mentality of just dream big, no barriers, no boundaries, just like go. Even if you fail forward,
Yeah,
get up, try again. And honestly,
Jason's looking through for that.
Yeah, you can see the amount of success. I don't think failure is even an option or a word in his vocabulary. So
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
So take me back to the beginning. What made you get into detailing in the first place? Like, what were you doing before you were detailing cars?
I was painting cars. So I got
Okay.
into the automotive repair business. I was detailing my cars like in high school. Before high school, I was always like into detailing, and then dropped out of college after 3 months. Pretty much went there just to party, knowing I was going to drop out immediately. So followed that plan. Didn't know what I was going to do, but I got into my Mustang got hit when I was in college. So when I got back, I went to a body shop, asked them right when I dropped it off. I was like, hey, you guys hiring? I need a job. I just came back home from college. They got me a job in the detail department. Did that for maybe 6 months or so. And I moved around. They had a few locations in St. Louis. Moved around, got into the paint side. One of the branches I moved to, the head painter was really cool. I could see he was kind of letting me do some stuff. So after a few months, he let me spray a mirror cap, maybe spray a bumper after a year or so. And then I moved into the paint department, started painting cars. I was the prep guy, so I was in charge of priming, sanding, masking off the cars in the paint booth, mixing up the color, pouring it in his gun, pretty much making his job as easy as I possibly could. That got me into, like I said, I did prep for probably a year and a half, and then I became a painter there, and then moved to a different brand body shop, and that only did mainly exotics, high-end cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, stuff like that. There I was I was a second painter, so there were two painters, 14 body techs, and yeah, that was kind of my start into it. So painted cars, got really good at wet sanding, polishing, all that kind of stuff. And then, like I said, I got the idea in my head. I was like, man, I want to go maybe move to Florida. So that next weekend, I booked a trip to come down for Friday to Saturday, see if I could find any apartments I liked. Didn't find any that I liked. Still got back Sunday night. That Monday, I put in my 2 weeks and was like, I'm just going to fucking move to Florida and figure it out. So, yeah, I did that and sold my car that week, bought a Transit, packed everything I had, and just moved to Florida. Got an
Now,
apartment the week before I moved down.
were you single at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be a
Yeah, I
little
was,
hard to do with a wife and kids.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a pretty good salesman, but it took, yeah, it was quick. I think I was 19, just about 20.
Okay. A great time to make big changes and big moves.
I think anytime's a good time to make big changes and big moves, for sure.
As a mom, I would probably disagree with that,
You still
but
can, but it's a better time maybe, but I think anytime's still a good time.
yeah, that's true. So then you started detailing. What were those early years for you like down in Florida? Like you just moved down there. It's a completely different environment, humidity, heat. I grew up in Florida, so like I definitely can understand and relate. Like what was it like for you trying to start a detailing business coming from the paint world?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. I moved to Florida. I didn't have a business name. I didn't have anything except for the van. I think it took me like 2 months. I took my time getting set up. Like I took 2 weeks to get an LLC when it really takes an hour. I was just procrastinating, kind of pushing things off. Yeah, like I'm building it. Like I was playing business, pretend business. But yeah, I mean, it took probably 2 months to honestly get a job, maybe a little less, but 2 months to get set up, start working. And I moved down, I remember in June. And from that June to the end of the year, I did 17,000 in sales. So not really, you say that like that's good. Is that good?
No, I mean, for just starting out, and what
Sure.
this was like, you said
This was
2000,
2017.
2017. Okay. I mean, if you have no dependents, 17,000 in what, 6 months?
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
It's
it's
a
not bad.
start.
I mean, honestly,
It's a start.
it was probably a little less than what I was making. What got me to quit was I was painting a car. I did the whole thing pretty much. Like 85% of this paint job on a Bentley, they charged him, I think like $85,000 for this paint job. And I was making like 600 a week. And I was like, oh my God, like I got to go do my own thing. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. So that was the first 6 months. The first full calendar year, I think I did 54.
That's not shabby. I mean, when I first started detailing as a stay-at-home mom, maybe doing 2 to 3 details a week, I was making 30, 40,000. IRS might be listening, so yeah, we're gonna stick with that number. And I mean, it's gone up probably $5,000, $10,000 every year since then, and I've
Right.
kinda capped it because I don't need that much, I don't want that much, but, like, and maybe we're jumping the gun a little bit, like, can you share a little bit with us, like, what you're bringing in now versus what you were bringing in back then?
Yeah. So back then, so like I said, first full calendar year was 54. Something I want to mention though before we get to this. So I went to an event at the end of that first year when I was just about at 50. We had a in-person mastermind at some house with about 40 people. Some guy asked, write down on a piece of paper how much money you want to make next year. Everyone wrote on their piece of paper. and then everyone got up in front of everyone and said their number. I was the
$1
only person.
million.
Exactly. I was the only person out of 40 people to write a specific dollar amount. Everyone, half the group wrote 250,000, 500,000, a million, 200,000, 150,000. I wrote $212,767. And everyone thought that was weird. And I got up there, I'm like, oh my God, I'm just going to say $250,000 or $200,000. I'm like, nah, that's what I wrote. I'm just going to say that. And it got me, the guy talked to me up in front of everyone for 10 minutes about it. And I just told him, I'm like, when I visualize it, there's never an exact dollar amount in your bank account. It's always a random number. So that's how I visualized it. And at the end of that year, I did 211,000.
That's awesome.
So I think that's something I want to skip over is the manifesting, the visualization. That shit's super important. Fast forward to today, I'm not doing what I want to be doing, but we're doing pretty good. I mean, pretty much this whole year, we've only been working Monday to Thursday. I've been
Okay.
taking Friday off for office admin days. So we're really working like 4 days a week. But right now, like a good normal week's about 12 to 15,000.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I typically try to stay around like 3 grand a day. You know, if we can do 3 grand a day, we're pretty much right at that 15 mark, which is where I want to be.
Now you
Uh,
have one employee that works with you, right?
yep,
Is he like a partner or is he an employee?
he's an employee.
Okay. And do you guys split it 50-50? How does that work?
Why would you split 50-50 with an employee?
I'm just I'm saying,
I
how
don't
does
think.
that work?
No, he's on salary. He's on
Okay.
salary.
I didn't know how that was structured for you. Like,
No,
maybe
it's
you
on
bring a
salary.
friend in that's like, "Hey, man, we're gonna split the jobs 50-50."
Yeah,
Okay.
no, for sure. Let's split the weekly revenue when it took me 10 years to get this and it took you 3 months on board. So yeah, that sounds fair to
Okay, I
me,
get
Jesse.
it. It was a stupid question.
Yeah, no, salary. Salary.
Okay. Now, can I ask how much do you pay an employee salary?
Yeah, he makes right about 60 right now a year. When
Okay.
we're going on a cruise together in a couple months, his family is coming with us. When we get back from that, he's going to start running Friday solo, at which point he's going to get about a $10,000 a year increase in pay.
Very nice.
Yep.
I think it's important to take care of your employees. I know that oftentimes within this industry, like the help is
Yep.
very much underpaid. And
Yep.
I've heard from many business owners that when you put a higher caliber price on your employees, you get better quality work, less,
Oh,
turnover.
for sure.
And honestly, it's very hard probably to find good employees. Like, how did you find this guy? Like, how do you train an employee?
So when I found him, I made a post. I got really lucky. I had about 114 resumes in my email in 2 days.
Wow.
So I went through that, went through all the resumes, called about half of them. So I got on the phone with about 50 of them. Out of that, I took about 7 of those 50 on a one-on-one lunch, and then of that, I took 3 of them on a ride along with me for 3 days each, and then I picked Steve.
Okay. And when they did the ride along, did they get anything from it?
Oh yeah, I paid him.
Okay. I know some
So
places
everyone
actually
got
they
paid.
don't pay them.
Yeah, no, everyone got paid for sure. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, but like I said, that's one of my biggest goals. I mean, I got a roadmap to have him making 100,000 in hopefully about 2.5 years. You know, probably still salary, but that's the thing. It's like that's how I'm going to grow a really good team. Is one, I don't put up with any bullshit, and two, pay them 30-40% better than any other shop in Florida will, and you're going to get some killers.
Now, I know that the market down in Florida is probably very different than the market, say, where I live. I know, especially like I grew up in Lakeland.
Yep.
I know that there does seem to be a more expensive car culture in that area. I mean, just from your videos alone, you seem to have tapped into like the vein of exotic cars.
I mean, people get rich and want to move to Florida. I mean, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So that being said, like, do your prices go up when you're working in a market in an environment like that? Like, what do you typically charge, a customer for an average detail?
Not even. I mean, an average detail, I think our average ticket's like 370, right
Okay.
around there. But our starting detail is 180 to 225. So it's just 5 different price brackets: coupe, sedan, 2 row, 3 row SUV, and truck. So 180 being the coupe, 225 being an Escalade. That's starting price, and then next tier up's about mid-level to high level 300, and the next one up from there is about mid to high 400s, and then
Do you
into
charge more for an exotic car?
no,
No. Same price as a daily driver.
yep,
Do you work on daily drivers?
for sure, yeah,
You
all the
just
time.
don't I just don't see them on your social media.
We post them on our stories. We just don't. I mean, I'm not going to have Honda Odysseys and shit on my page.
I hate
Because
those things.
the truth is, like, when we have like disaster details, I'll post it on my story, but
I think I lost you there.
more
We're
so
gonna wait.
I get, and I don't
G
want disaster cars.
Okay. You're a little laggy. I was just waiting for you to answer
I was
that.
gonna say, I think you're laggy. Am I laggy?
You are laggy. I
Or
mean, I look completely
no, I'm
normal
probably
to me.
laggy. Yeah, you're the podcaster, not me. It's probably my end. My bad.
No, you're fine, but if everyone
Keep in
kind of
mind, I'm a
freezes, just hang
detailer. I'm
tight
not a
with us.
podcaster. I'm in my little home office here, my little 10 by 10 cell.
I'm in my dining room because I just want everyone
All right,
to hang out with me around the dining table.
for sure.
No, it could be the Florida heat. It's just messing with your Wi-Fi signal. But, no,
The
I mean,
haters are
I
sabotaging
think
us.
does that have to go with kind of manifesting the type of work that you want to bring forward? Like, I know that there are times that I don't
Yeah, but I'm
post
just
all of the
past that. I never manifested Lambos. Like, that just happened. I just knew that would happen, you
You
know?
didn't just like,
But when I used to,
Ferraris.
like I said, when I was painting, like, I was painting, like, Duesenbergs, which are super expensive old cars. Like, I was already doing expensive stuff. Like, I was in charge of a $90,000 paint job on a Bentley. So, like, it didn't really I mean, my first detail ever in Florida was, a Dodge Viper, which I actually got this hanging on my wall. This was it, $100. That was my first $100 ever in business,
That's
and that was
awesome.
from a Dodge Viper. Yeah, the guy gave me the most crisp $100 bill, never folded, and I'm like, dude, set it on my dash. I know right where this is going. And
Yeah, that went in
if
the
something
bank and
if
that paid
it
for
really goes
groceries that
south,
week.
then just punch it out. What'd you
I
say?
wi I wish I would have done that. That would have been very epic, but I'm pretty sure that was
Yeah.
spent before we
No, that was
even
literally my first $100 ever made self-employed. I mean, a real business, not I had 100 businesses when I was a kid, but first real dollar.
We've already got some good questions rolling in, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna ask a few of them
Yeah,
just so
please.
that way we don't,
Yeah,
go
I'm
off
not even
topic
looking
too
at the
much.
chat. Let me go through it.
Slick Auto Styling says, "In your opinion, what are the key parts of a good customer relationship?" Hey, it's totally him like.
Oh man, I got a lot on that. Constant outreach. I mean, the biggest can you hear me?
Yep, you're just lagging a little bit.
Am I with you?
You're here. I
Sorry. Let me see if I can close some tabs. Like I said, I'm on my wife's computer right now.
blame
All
it on
right,
the
so
wife.
um, I realized I stopped chasing money. I realized it's conversation, relationship, money. So I used to chase the money. Now I chase the conversation. That's and then once you got the client relationship money, go back, maintain the relationship, get the money, go back, maintain the relationship, get the money. New client, you got to go back to conversation. So you have to constantly be reaching out like all the time. I'll get home, I'll call. It's one of the first things I do when I get home every day. I'll go through my list, my CRM, I'll call 5 random people. Hey Chelsea, how you been? I just passed by your house today. You just popped in my head. I want to give you a ring, see how everything's been. What's going on?
Hmm.
You'll talk about yourself for a minute. You'll flip it on me, ask how I've been, and I'll quickly say, "Oh man, I didn't need anything, Chelsea. Family's great. You know, didn't need anything. Just want to give you a call. You just popped in my head. Hope you've been good. Bye
Hmm.
bye." Hang up on them.
That's great
Constant
advice.
check in, check in. I mean, constantly. Like I average about 55 hours a week on my phone, so I'm constantly DMing, texting. Hey man, I know you got that promotion last month at the dealership. Just want to let you know I'm super proud of you, bro. I'm always rooting for you. Hope you have a great day. Constant just outreach, 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 because it's conversation, relationship. I need more conversations, more relationships, deeper relationships. And again, like it's getting to a point it's hard to manage. Like last Cars and Coffee, I had 10, 15 people that came up to me. Hey, Adam. Oh, man, what's going on? Good to meet you. Nah, dude, you detailed my car 4 times. I'm like, oh, God. Like, it's a lot of people. Like, you can only remember so many faces. Like
Yeah.
we did 2,300 clients last year. Like, you can only remember
Wow.
so much. So, but go through your CRM. That's what's important about having a CRM. You can see all your top spenders. You can roll down the list and reach out to them. You know, say, hey, I was just at your neighbor's house today, buddy. Thought of you.
Corey wants to know, and I think we touched a little bit on this in my most pivotal moment in business so far. Hiring would be awesome if you guys could talk about it. Was that
I mean,
scary for you? Like, what made you
no,
say, "I'm ready to hire an employee"?
well, I think you're ready to hire an employee when you're solo and you're a good 3 weeks consistently booked out. Start looking for some help. It doesn't scare me because I can just fire you immediately. I can fire you at any time. So
You don't feel any sort of emotional
I
responsibility
used
to,
to.
like.
No, I used to for sure. This used to tear me up. It would tear me up. It just doesn't bother me anymore. Like I'm really easy and chill to work for, I think. I try to have fun, but I'm also strict. But as a friend, same thing. Like if you're getting fat, I'm gonna tell you you look disgusting. Like I tell it like it is. And I think that keeps people in check, but it also kind of makes them respect you because a lot of people don't have people like that in their life.
Mhm.
So when you have just the truth and you know, like me hiring, I told my guy if I'm late twice in a month, he's fired.
I think we're still having some connection issues with you, Adam.
Oh no. Am I
I can
talking too
see
much?
you.
Am I throwing off?
No, you're
Oh,
not. I
that's
can
annoying.
see you. I'm just trying to let you buffer so that way everyone we're not talking over one another. Um,
Okay.
do you have your cell phone handy just in case this does drop?
What do I
I'll
do?
say
Just click that link that you emailed me?
hit that link and you can always have that camera. So if we do have technical difficulties where your Wi-Fi or anything goes down, maybe we can just bring you back up on that and go with your cell phone just to have a backup plan because I think a lot of people are really enjoying your answers so far.
Yeah, I
And
wanna be sure we're good here. I got the stream on my phone if need be. Do you want me to just go over now and just go on cellular?
bring it into the studio and I can switch over.
Okay.
We're doing a little technical thing here, guys.
Sorry, guys. Is what it is.
For those of you that are hanging out with us and being patient, thank you. We appreciate it. Sometimes these are just the things you got to deal with. Blame it on the heat, blame it on the wife's laptop, who knows? But
It's definitely the wife's fault for sure.
so if you come into the StreamYard on that link, maybe do I have to take you out? It should pop you up as a second person and I can switch it. But
Same
either
on the
way,
browser, mic and camera. Let's see if we can just keep rolling on this.
yeah. All right. Next question. All right. Let's see. What are your top 3 favorite cheap, free ways to leave a lasting impression on your customers? Besides quality work and customer service, I want to take that next starting today.
Thank you cards. You can get a big stack of thank you cards on Amazon for dirt cheap.
Okay.
Make it a real thank you. Preferably 5 to 7 sentences. Make it a good paragraph. Make it personalized. Um, did they say free? Cheap or free? All right, cheap donuts. I love bringing donuts.
Cheap,
Bring
yeah.
by donuts to preferably people that don't know you. Bringing donuts, stop by. Hey, Chelsea, I drive by your office every single day. I've just always been curious what it looks like in here. I just want to come in, say what's up. My name's Adam. I brought you guys some donuts. There's, my card if you ever need anything. Donuts. And I think calling, like, that's a pretty good lasting impression. Like, another thing I do that's cheap is I got little custom branded mints, leave them behind in the cars, and I'll tuck them and hide them in different places sometimes, like put one under the visor, put one in the passenger visor, put one in the console in the back seat, put one in the center of the trunk. It's like when you go to a hotel and you come back and they got a little chocolate on your pillow. It says a lot without saying anything. It's saying, "Hey, I've been here. I've checked it off. You're good to go. Here's a little treat." So
Plus it's like an
again,
Easter egg and they're going to be like excited to like find it.
and that's what made me think of that because he said impression. So that brings me to that point. It's 10 cents a mint. They're not going to find all 5 mints at the exact same time. So they might find one in an hour. They'll find one in 3 days. They'll find one in a week. Every time they see that mint, they think of me for 10 cents.
Yeah, Gabe says, just tried donuts this week. It works. And he
Nice.
said they posted me on their Instagram with 1,500 people. So that is fantastic marketing.
Dang. Good job, Gabe.
That is doing exactly what you need it to do. And a lot of people are loving the donut idea. I think they just like eating donuts. We got to share it with the customers, guys. It's not for you. That's the whole point. Gabe wants to know, what does manifesting look like to you?
Being specific, not being vague, like back to the dollar amount, 212,767, you know, be specific. Now, when I manifest, it's more visualizing. I visualize my future shop. I visualize my employee parking lot filled with sick rides. I visualize my employees having families, having nice houses. But you got to take it past that. You got to visualize it to the point of like, what's the floor going to look like? What's the silverware in the shop going to look like? Like you have to visualize it to the point, like in my head, I'm already there. I can see it, I can touch it, I can smell it, I can feel it. It has to be real. It can't be vague. It can't just
Well,
be, oh, I want to shop. Okay, how many bay doors? How tall are the doors? What do the couches look like? What kind of material are they made out of in your waiting room? Be specific.
and I mean, I have a friend that recommended a book to me, Dream It, Pin It, Live It. And it was along those lines of manifesting. But when you write down those goals, understanding now, am I willing to do what it takes to get to those things? Because once you have a clear picture, then you have a clear understanding of kind of the cost. If we
The
just have this
roadmap.
kind of aloof, oh, I want to do high end cars. What's it going to take to get you to that point? Or I want to bring in $100,000 next year. What is it going to take? And I think that's a really great inspiration, but there's more to it than just, you know,
Yeah, I
doing
mean
a
that's
pin
that's why
board,
there's winners and losers. Some people can take action and some people just think about taking action. Two totally different things.
Detailer Go says, how do you personally attract your high end clients that you have today? And what are all the factors that play in effect to that? And that was actually one of the questions we were going to get to.
Yep. Brand. I mean, the brand's getting pretty strong this year. Comes down to a lot of things. It comes down to how I reach out to you before the detail. Once you schedule the detail, I'm following up beforehand. Once I get there, he's saying, how do I track? So more so, how do I get new clients? Like use Cars and Coffee, for example. We're a VIP sponsor. My whole booth is just my van, so we don't really set much up. And I book thousands of dollars every Cars and Coffee from people that I don't even talk to. They'll text me, they'll email me, hey, just saw your van, need to get 6 cars done. So that's how you attract professional or exotic cars, is looking professional. It's so now when you have a better brand, better uniforms, you're a better communicator. You have all these things that are you know giving the I don't want to say illusion because it's reality, but giving the perception of a true professional brand, it makes it that much easier to sell yourself. I barely have to open my mouth now. It already sells itself for me. So pull up looking professional and people will take you more seriously.
So invest in yourself, invest
Yeah.
in a
I got
brand. It's
$3,000 in Sour Patch Kids sitting behind me with my stickers on them. I mean, yes, invest in yourself. Like, yes, for sure.
and I want to get to like what does all of that look like at like in a day-to-day cost, but like let's break it down more practically. Like when you're starting your day, what does a typical day look like for you now?
Pretty similar. I mean, I wake up most days about an hour, 2 hours before, typically about 2 hours before work. We typically leave the house around 7:15, 7 o'clock. Go out, detail till about 5, 6. Come home, hang out with my family for really as much as I can, but still got to get in the office. So it's kind of a mix of an hour or so with the family and a couple hours in the office, reaching out to clients, scheduling clients, working on Instagram post, um, all that stuff.
How many cars or vehicles do you do within a day?
Not many. I mean, maybe 7 to 8 is an average day.
Okay.
We've done like a busy day, we'll do like 12. It all depends.
Now, is that all straight up mobile, or you go into dealerships and working on cars there?
We do go to the only dealership we really do is Lamborghini Sarasota.
Okay.
But they're more just really like a client. Like there's no contract. They offered me a contract. I didn't want the contract, so it's more of just like a yeah, any other client. They pay retail price. So that's really my extensive detail or dealership work.
Okay. You're not doing the grind of 30, 40 cars, rinseless washes, all of that. That's someone else's game that you're not
No.
needing to play.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I've been thinking about it. I think eventually we'll have, big trucks that do fleet washes, like, 1,000 cars a day or something. But no, not for right now. And at that point, I think that'll still be money. I mean, if I can get, yeah, I mean, $2, $3 a car, yeah, I think we can do that. The only downside is it has to be a night shift, so that'd be you know, 11 PM to 5 AM.
Now,
So,
if
I
if
think
you were
that'll
to
happen in
do
the
if
future.
you were to do something like that, would you ever like do you do rinseless washes when you're working out in the hot Florida sun? Are you
No.
carrying water? You're foaming it down, you're washing everything?
Yeah, typical wet wash. Yeah, we carry 250 gallons in the van. We keep O&R in the van just in case, like, the old fire truck we did, it's inside the fire station, it doesn't move, certain things, like, we keep it on us if we need it, but no, you can't do a proper detail without it. I mean, how are you gonna O&R the wheel wells, What
Yeah.
are you doing about it just doesn't make sense. There's really no it has its case, for cars that are, like, in the showroom at Lambo when they're just sitting there with dust on them for a week sitting in the showroom, yeah, you can
Mhm.
O&R that, but you're not O&Ring something with dirty wheel wells and bugs on it, it's gonna be a nightmare.
Do you carry DI water within your van, or is it just normal water?
Yeah, it's filtered at the house.
So you don't have to
It's,
deal with
tank at
water
the
spots and stuff in
house, we
Florida?
just feed a hose into the water tank, so all the water spots. Yeah. I mean, you still have to because, like, when you got soap on the car, you still have chemicals on the car that can dry. So, you still need to be quick.
Do you have a tent that you set up when you're working?
Hell no, that takes way too much time.
Just
No, that
work
takes so
really
much time.
fast.
I saw your Instagram the other day about the tent, and I was just like, "Never, I would never." I've
I
done it
work from
before, but
home. I don't care if it
no,
takes me 2
that's
minutes to
valid.
set it up.
That's valid, for sure, valid. But,
If I
no,
was
it just
mobile, no, I probably wouldn't because I'm
'cause I'm
not
a math
carrying
guy,
that
like, I know the math on it, like,
behemoth.
it's if I add up the math, all the minutes it takes every day times 2 years, I mean, I'm losing tens of thousands of dollars. I
That's
don't need
true.
shade that bad, you know?
I don't know. It gets pretty dang hot in Florida. I actually one of the people asked the question about like how do you and your employee deal with the hot Florida sun? Like where was
We're
that
men,
question?
we just
You
deal
guys
with it.
keep asking so many questions. It just keeps
Oh,
popping up. Here, as a mobile detailer in the Florida sun, how are you and your employees staying cool and fed?
drink water, take a towel and soak it in there and put it on your neck for a second, work on the car with the AC running, take a break if you need to, you know? But ultimately, summer's the best time to get ahead. Like, you know how many guys in summer around me that call it quits at noon or 1 o'clock 'cause it's too hot? It's like, it's a joke. Like, we just made a whole year leap in front of you in 3 months, So, yeah, you just get used to it. I mean, it sucks, but so does winter. I mean, winter's cold. It is what it is.
So, as a mobile detailer, what are some of the products that you use? Because you don't have a ton of options that you can pull from. What are the brands, the products that you stock regularly on your vans?
I use a lot of stuff. I'm not really brand specific. I got, 3D Coach Chemie, uh, um, even some McGuire's
Disconnect.
products in there. We use a lot of stuff. On the daily, we use probably like 3D
Pull
um,
out your cell phone, Adam. You're starting to skip a lot.
choice. Um, yeah, not too
Goodness.
many. Am I losing?
Yeah, you are. Pull out the cell phone. I think it's time. I heard 3D, I heard Koshemi, I heard McGuire's. That's about it, which is
Keep asking
totally
some while I
fine.
do this. I gotta find instructions and do something on my phone.
Hang on. While you do that, I'm going to have you step out and we're going to do a quick commercial break. Stay tuned because we're going to get into after the commercial how Adam started to land the big accounts and just work on creating big connections within he and his customers. So, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a second.
So the detailing industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and there are so many products to choose from that it can be boggling trying to figure out which ones you want to try out. Some of you guys, you want to stick with the same brand and know what to expect time after time, but there are those of us that part of the joy of detailing is trying out new products. And for those of you that maybe you get stressed out trying to figure out which products to try out, maybe you like those type of subscription-based programs where they send you a surprise every month and you don't know what you're going to get. Well, we've got Glove Box. They actually sent me this month's Glove Box for July, so let's go ahead, see what's inside the box. So first up, we've got some detailing brushes from the House of Rags. We've also got their high pH soap, which is actually perfect because I just finished up my bottle on this Explorer. We also have Interior Clean, their sword. It's perfect for carpets, leather, plastics. Based on the dilution, you can pretty much tackle every surface of your interior except for glass. And we've got BDE, or Bugs Dirt Exterior. We also have some talco sprayers to put with our chemicals. And then we also have, this is the jobber. We have a thicker side here and then a low pile side. A nice clean edge there. It's not going to scratch any of your surfaces. And as always, we have our step-by-step guide with a QR code for those of you that want a in-depth look at how to get the most out of these products. Now, it's not always going to be Detail Co. or the House of Rags. Every month, you're going to get new products, new brands, and that's kind of the fun mystery side of it. It's like Christmas every single time. You never know what you're going to get from month to month. But for those of you that maybe like trying out new products, or you want to give a really creative gift to someone you love, we're going to put the link to this product down below, as well as any coupon codes that they provide. But let's go ahead and get back to the show.
All right.
Am I back?
You are back, and hopefully we're not skipping.
I'm on a home computer, so I went down, I think, a little in the quality, but let's see if this works.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, for being patient. Sometimes we just can't control these things, but I know we were talking a little bit about products that you use for your van. I know that a lot of people, they might be brand specific. You said you were using 3D, Koshemi, and McGuire's.
Yeah. I mean, mainly the top two. I mean, there's probably 5 more brands in there I just can't think of. We use a lot of stuff, though.
Is there any advantage to sticking with a brand when you're a mobile detailer, or is it really just whatever works in that moment?
Yeah, there's no benefit to that.
So if you were to use a soap that's sun-friendly, what are you using?
We use 3D Super Soap. It's like a concentrate.
Have you ever tried Quiver Rogue soap?
No.
No. It's designed for sun-friendly environments. I'm just throwing out options there.
Yeah, my thing is, like, if it works, like you said, if it works, it works. I don't spend like time trying new products. Like, if it works and it gives me a reason that it doesn't work, then I'll get a different product. But like, if it works and it's cost effective, then I'm just like, let me focus my energy on something else.
Yeah. Do you ever get to play around with new products sometimes, doing what you do?
Yeah, I mean, people send me stuff all the time. You know, I use some stuff and it's like, yeah, this is good, but it's the same good as this is, and it's more expensive, or, you know, very rarely am I swapping.
What have been some like really amazing products to you lately? Like, what are some of your favorites that you've tried recently?
Recently, probably not many. I mean, I like Technician's Choice 582. I love that stuff. That is a great, like, wax, ceramic spray, whatever you want to call it. I love using that. And we put that on wet. You know, when we dry the car, we use it as more of like a drying aid, and then use a towel to dry it. It's incredible.
Now, when you're putting protection on your customers' vehicles, are you routinely seeing them like once a month, once a week, that you don't need something super durable? Or do you just put a standard ceramic detail like that and send it?
Depends what we're doing. Like, that's what we use on every car, like standard detail up to a ceramic coating. So if we use if we're doing a ceramic coating, then we're using a real coating. But the Tech 582 is what we use on every car. As far as maintenance, like, we don't have any maintenance details, maintenance pricing, things like that. So people, you know, we see most people every month, 2 months. We don't really have super repeat. Like, we only got maybe a couple people we do every 2 weeks on the dot. But for the most part, it's all new people. It's people reaching back out to me, you know, that kind of thing.
Is a lot of the bread and butter for mobile detailing those maintenance customers once a month? Like,
No,
is it hard for you to find customers?
no, not at all.
What
No,
did you do originally to find the customers that you have now?
I mean, a lot of the customers I have now are all referrals.
Okay.
So that goes back to how did I get the first people, which is, I mean, it truly just stemmed from that first client in Florida. You know, it's 1 turns to 2, 2 turn to 4, 4 turn to 8. Try to, you know, and my mindset's always been every car is my first detail. This is my first client. I got to wow them, you know, and when you have that mindset, it's not hard to get another one. But, you know, now I just like when I leave the house, I change my mindset to I'm running for mayor. So when you think you're running for mayor, you're going to talk to everybody. Like I'll go to Culver's for an ice cream at 10 o'clock at night and talk to everyone that works there. You know,
Again, it's kind of back to that cultivating relationships thing you were talking about.
Well, that's what I said. Cause it's like, I've realized that you've never made $1 in your life without a relationship first. You have to have a relationship. You can't think of a time you've ever had $1 given to you without a relationship first. So
Well,
even if
and
that's a short relationship, it's still a relationship.
I saw in one of your posts that you said when you go out, you're like head to toe Detailers of Sarasota because
Oh,
you
yeah.
are your best
All the time. I
advertisement.
mean, I don't leave the house. Like I'm still in my work attire. This is all I wear, you know, like, but I got a lot of cool stuff. So it feels right. But no, all the time. I mean, I went and I always drive my van, you know, but my van is my only car. I got a Corvette, but that's going to be branded too. So, you know,
Nice.
you never know where it works. Like I went to freaking Chili's last month and picked up something. The chick at the front desk checked me out. I was like, oh, Detailers of Sarasota. I follow you guys on Instagram. She's like, I need my car cleaned soon. The guy
Nice.
at Best Buy a few weeks ago when I was buying a new TV was like, oh, dude, I just got an automated email from you saying it's been a year. I was like, what? I've detailed your van? He's like, yeah, dude, you detailed my van like a year ago. And he just got an automated message. He's like, that's crazy. And then the coworker standing next to him is, you know, now they're both talking about getting another detail.
So what scheduling software do you use?
House Call Pro.
Okay.
Yep.
What made you go with them versus something like Urable or Detail Bookie or something like that?
I've just had them for a long time. I got it in 2018. Just it works. It does everything I need it to.
Nice. So I know I feel like I have a ton of questions and we're jumping all over the place with the areas that I want to talk to. I know we've talked a little bit about products. If you had 6 products to clean a customer's car with, what would they be? And it doesn't have to be exactly 6. That was just the number.
Products. I mean, you need
like what are the specific products that you would use for a customer's vehicle?
3D Super Soap to wash it. I'd probably keep it simple. Use like a APC for bug prep. You can use APC. I mean, you can use APC for everything. APC for bug prep. You can use that for interior too. You can use it, you know, and so many guys are so scared of using APC, but it's like, it works. If you dilute it properly and you don't spray it on hot panels and stuff like that, it works good. I'd use 3D Ultra, 3D Protectant. It's like their rubber dressing for tire shine. It's water-based. I mean, I could get a whole car done in those 3.
Really?
APC, soap, and tire dressing.
And then technician's choice.
Yeah, technician's choice, yes. So those 4. I'd say that's all you need.
Really? 4 products?
Yeah. Let me get a carpet cleaner in there. Folex.
Really? That's the carpet cleaner you're going to go with?
Yeah, I like Folex. It works.
Okay.
It's always worked for me.
It's not bad.
What's a better one?
I use more. So Eddie's going to make fun of me if he's in the chat. I'm a little bit of a extractor snob. I get more rough interiors. I do get some newer vehicles and things like that. But when people bring their vehicles to me, typically it's because it's pretty bad. Right. So I use more commercial grade carpet cleaners that are like going to hit hard, that I don't have to there are those like 3-step systems out there, like certain brands have them. That to me is just too cumbersome. If I have to hit it with one chemical and then another chemical and then another chemical for it to actually work, that's way too much. And that's a lot of residue I'm leaving behind potentially. Right. So I will hit it with like a Bonnet Pro has either the Rocket Revive It or their like Surround Omega Citrus. It's an enzymatic. Hydrogen peroxide citrus base, not high foam, but it does foam, lifts, extract when it's heavy soiling, Folix is good, I think, for mild stains. It's similar to like Zap It to me from Superior Products, but it's more for, in my opinion, like spot cleaning. So if you have like spots, that's perfect. I'll use it in those
And
situations.
we're running hot water extractors, stuff like that, but it's always worked good for me. But again, like we're not doing destroyed vehicles, and when I have, it's so far worked for me. So yeah, again, back to like if it works, it works. Like let me spend this bandwidth reaching out to more clients instead of researching carpet cleaners for a week.
Yeah. So when you were detailing, did you originally start off working on high-end cars? Did it take time for you to get to where you're at now? And what do you think helped you get to that point?
I mean, I don't want to say I started with it, but like I said, the first detail ever was a Viper. So that got my Instagram good. It just so happened the guy had a Viper. I mean, I can't really remember when my next supercar was. It's just, I can't even really remember what we detailed yesterday. So it's all kind of out the door. But again,
it was the trailer because you were black.
Yeah, it was the trailer. Yes, it was the trailer. Thank you for that. See, it's already gone. I don't even remember. I just still was cleaning black stuff out of my ears. That is disgusting, metal polish. But again, presentation. Like I had a brand new Transit when I started. It was wrapped. I had uniforms. I had hats. I got a good handshake. I know how to look you in the eyes, and I know how to talk to you. Like you got to be able to talk to people. This is not this is not an introverted job. I mean, at least if you're a business owner, you can't be an introvert or you're not going to be a good business owner. So like I said, I run for mayor when I leave the house. You got to just change your mindset to that. And you talk to enough people, you'll find a guy that's got a Lamborghini.
Where do you think you learned all of this from? Was this just trial and error? Did you have fantastic parents that were entrepreneurs that kind of just poured into you? Like,
nothing from my parents. I mean, my dad ran, he was a big CEO of, I think he had like a couple 100,000 employees under him. Big company. But he died when I was 17, so I never really got to ask him any real questions. So I never really gained any knowledge from him. No, I would say 90% trial and error, 10% books.
What are some of your favorite books that have inspired you?
Let's see. I like, God, there's a whole bunch of them up here. I like How to Win Friends and Influence People. Success Through, what is it? Having a Good Positive Mental Attitude. Mindset to Millions. I mean, a lot of Ray Dalio. A lot of books. I mean, I'm looking at probably 40 up there. A lot of books. I've read like, what's that guy's name? David something. He wrote a really good book on hospitality, and he has one of the world's finest restaurants in New York. I love reading hospitality books on specifically restaurants, because that's one of the places that focuses the most on hospitality. So yeah, I love like anything customer service related, hospitality, business wise. I love that kind of stuff, but mainly experiences. I've talked myself out of a sale more times than I can count. I've over talked when I should have ended the conversation, or I've, sold with facts instead of selling with emotions. Like I've just learned a lot of things, but it's really been trial and error. Like I said, I've been self-employed now for almost, 9 years.
What do you think led to you starting to cultivate such big connections and land kind of those big accounts? Because when I see someone like you literally detailing on the floor of the Lamborghini shop, and that's not normal for those that
For sure.
like
Yeah,
that's not an everyday occurrence. Like, what advice would you give to people who are watching, who I know that they're salivating at the mouth? Like you're living the dream that a lot of detailers have with working on those high-end cars. Like, what would you say to them to get to that level?
So with the Lamborghini dealership specifically, I went in there in 2018. Went in there, kept going in there. Finally got to sit down with the GM in his office. And I was so excited about this. And then he was like, oh, no, dude, I was thinking like, I forgot what he said. It was a stupid amount, like $50, $50 a car, something like that. He's like, I just need a quick wash. I'm like, dude, there's no such thing as a quick wash on a Lamborghini. Like, you have to dry it properly. You have that doesn't exist. So I'm like, all right, instead of coming in the front door, I'm going to come in the back door. And that's what I realized leaving there. So I didn't know it at the time, but like I said, I'm good at building relationships, and I built relationships with 4 people over the span of a year to 5 years. And they all somehow started working at Lamborghini together. Next thing you know, they're all the staff, and they're like, screw these other guys, let's just call Adam. So then they just called me, and next thing you know, I'm there. But it didn't happen by accident. People ask me, yeah, what's your secret to getting that Lamborghini? Like, the secret was texting them every month saying, hey, Chelsea, hope you have a great day. It's going to be an awesome one. I did that for 5 years. And then eventually they call me. Like, that's what I've realized in business. The longer you can go without asking, eventually they're going to ask you. And that's me all the time. Like, we had a car show recently. The guy pulls up in a $4 million Koenigsegg, and I'm there at 5:30 in the morning for an 8 a.m. car show because I know the guys setting up are going to be there at 6. I want to be there to have conversations, start relationships. So I get there when the Koenigsegg guy comes out. I'm the first one at his door. No one's there. I'm like, dude, good morning, man. I'm so happy you brought this car out. Like, where do you live? I've never seen you out of town. Oh, I'm up in Clearwater. Dude, you're telling me you drove the Skyway Bridge in a Koenigsegg at sunrise? Like, holy crap, that's incredible. So I'm talking to the guy for 10 minutes, and then I just leave. I never told him I'm a detailer. Never asked if he has a detailer. Never said, hey, I'd love to detail your Koenigsegg. And then an hour goes by, and then the GM of Lamborghini is at the party, and he's like, flags me over. Hey, let me introduce you to my buddy. I'm like, yeah, I already know this guy. I know his name. I'm like, yeah, I already met so-and-so. I'm like, what's going on, buddy? He's like, dude, I didn't know you were their detailer. I'm like, yeah, for sure. He's like, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, figured a guy with a Koenigsegg already has a detailer, and he's like, dude, no, I need your information. So again, like,
that's awesome.
If I would come at him out the gate with straight to the money, he's gonna reject it. But if I come in conversation, now we got the relationship of the GM. Now the money's next. If I would have jumped straight to the money, I would have scared him off, and he wouldn't have paid me any attention when I got introduced. I know for a fact because I've already done that 100 times. So stop focusing on the money. Focus on the relationships. How do you have relationships? You have to have conversations first. How do you have conversations? I don't know. Get creative. Just go have conversations. You can do that Facebook, Instagram, Google ads. That's why people run ads, is to start conversations. So I don't run ads. I'm really good at guerrilla marketing. I know how to stay in people's head or get in their head or make them keep thinking about me, whatever. It's constant.
When you're making all of these big moves within the industry, I mean, you're investing quite a bit in yourself, in your business, from what you're wearing, what you're driving, even your jet ski is branded. I saw the Father's Day gifts that you created, like just to purchase the boxes, the gift cards, all of those
laying around here somewhere. Yeah, the gift cards.
Those weren't cheap. Like, what is some of the costs that it takes to get to the level you're at? And like, I know that, there are some people that are probably saying that's fine and dandy for you. Like, I don't have that kind of money to, to invest.
Go find it. Like, boo-hoo. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you got to just do it. My help was my dad bought me a Kia Optima when I was 15, 16. And then that rolled to eventually I had a little bit of a down payment for the Mustang with the Kia. And then I sold the Mustang to then buy the van, which I still put my own money down on. And then, but that's all worn off. I just.
Definitely not a trust fund, baby, because someone made that comment earlier.
No, like I said, when my dad was, that's all good and dandy. I did have a trust. I got it. Like I said, my dad died when I was 17. Got it when I was 18, and that money was gone in a year. And I have no idea where it went. It was just poof. You're looking at me like.
No, that's just sad. Like, because I can imagine that there was probably some. I don't want to assume. I don't know your story. I'd love to hear your story. But
no, I was crushed. My dad was my best friend.
I know. And it's not that you ever. It's not that the focus is on the trust fund. It's just that you had something given to you, and it seems like it was taken away. That's the only face.
Yeah, I just pissed it down the drain because no one And now I got a trust for my girls, but it's not ever going to be in their name. It's my own account, and I'm not going to give it to them when they're 18, because if it's in their name, I got to legally tell them about it when they're 18. So instead, I'm going to wait until they're 34, go through some hardships, and then eventually I'll invite you over to the house for dinner, and I'm going to blow your mind with how much money's in this account.
I wouldn't mind having that conversation with my parents.
I know, right about now, that would feel pretty good, wouldn't it?
That's never going to happen, though. That's totally okay.
It will for my girls.
That's awesome, though. And I mean, those are the goals that you probably have for yourself, for your family.
For sure. Yeah. But that's I envision, awesome. I visualize at that point, they're already going to have a house. They're already going to have a family. They're going to have kids. They're going to have dogs. They're going to have their cars already paid off. And now, here's $1 million. Go enjoy yourself. You're already mature.
So we have some
back to the question. Yes. Back to the question. No trust fund. I got the van. Cost wise, I put $25,000 cash down on the van, financed 50. Got about half of that paid off, and the van in total is about 115. The van was 70, right around 70, a little over 70 new. The build was, about 25, and then we got about another. We got the wrap, which was 8. Miscellaneous stuff. Yeah, we're about 110, 115.
And
other cost, miscellaneous stuff like gift cards, the leave behinds. I got cardboard boxes behind me just filled to the brim with mints and Sour Patch Kids and, candy and stickers and a whole bunch of crap.
Do you feel like those investments pay off?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's paying off, it already is. And but I'm not scared to do things outside of the box. Like this upcoming Cars and Coffee, we got, I got a sponsored drag racer that's sponsored with my business. He's coming out, and we got one of those Christmas trees, at the drag strip, little remote control. And if you can beat him on reaction time, then you get to spin the prize wheel. The prize wheel is going to be $500 cash is going to be one of the things on the prize wheel, $100 gift cards to several companies, businesses in town that I'm friends with, free detail, whole bunch of stuff. So
wow.
No, have fun. I mean, car shows are meant to have fun, and there's 4 other detail companies there, and all of them set up their own canopy, their own little cool table. They got their pens for free. It's a joke. People, you can visibly see people walk faster when they go by that section of the car show because they're not trying to be sold. They're trying to go to a car show. So instead, I pull up in the van. I pull up in the jet ski. I'm giving away stuff. Like last car show, I was giving away $30 model cars. I think I gave away $1,200 in model cars to kids.
Now, how many details did you schedule at that car show?
I think $4,000.
So you got your money back and then some.
Yes.
That's nice. That's probably scary for some people, though. Were you scared when you first started?
Go just put on a prize wheel right now, but it's going to get people talking, and it's going to get people over at our booth. And I got a big one of those portable wireless TVs behind me, so we're going to be playing our YouTube videos for people waiting in line, waiting to spin the prize wheel or go see if they can beat the professional driver's reaction time. It's engaging. People are going to be talking about it later.
Yeah.
And that I call ghost marketing, which is just my own term I've coined in my head, ghost marketing. It's what can I do to have other people talking about me when I'm not present in the room? And when you start thinking like that, there's multiple ways to do that.
Yeah. You've got a lot of people that are very inspired by what you're saying. Justin's saying, I like the way you operate. I look up to you, my man. Look forward to your vids every day. Occasional Detailer says, scared of money, don't make no money.
Amen. Yeah, appreciate you, boys.
So if you guys have other questions for Adam, keep them coming. We're going to answer a few right here. We've got one from Detailer Go. You ever get guys with super high-end cars that think the service is too much?
All the time. Some of the cheapest guys I know have Lamborghinis.
I was going to say, are those the stingier customers that you work for? Because that's been my experience.
I mean, I just had a guy last week bartering me, trying to knock me down in the detail that owns a $70 million jet. And
do you do planes?
I laughed at him. I'm like, dude, no. You spend more refueling that plane one time than I'm ever going to make on you. No. But again, back to it, there's so many detailers that will go and be like, oh, dude, let me detail your Evo for $75. And then they post it, and now everyone's, it's a good way to start getting nicer clients. But when that guy and this guy, because there's, most Lambo guys hang out together.
They're going to talk.
Yeah. He charged you 180. He only charged me 75. Like,
yeah.
And then you just lost both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't work like that. You don't, like, one of the biggest things in my life, I don't lie. I always tell the truth, and that's what I said earlier to you when we were talking. Like, if you come to me with a question, I'm going to tell you what I think. If you tell me, if you say, dude, do I look like I'm fat? And I think you're fat. I'm going to tell you, yeah, bro, you need to lose 30 pounds. You look gross. Like,
I'm never going to ask you that question then.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I don't think you're fat. That's
I'm not asking it. Don't
I think
tell
you're beautiful.
Me. No.
But, it's the truth, because so many people don't have people like that in their life. And I can tell you 20, 30 stories of friends in my life that they said I was the only one that said the opposite, and they knew in their heart that was the truth. So it's just a good way to get people to, like you more. People will come to you more if they know they're not going to get bullshit from you.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to spend your time wondering, what did I tell this guy? What did I tell that guy? What did I tell her? What did I tell myself? It's just so much easier.
Katie's Auto Detailing and Services says, is there anything you regret that you did at some point of your business that you wish you would have avoided and you realize it put you behind, or vice versa, anything you should have done and didn't?
The first thing that came to mind is I used to sell on facts, not emotions. I would sell on facts for years, mainly like coatings. Like, I would say, oh, this is a 9H coating. It's on average 5 times harder than your factory clear coat. It has these polymers. It has this silicon dioxide, which does that. And I can just see them losing interest. Now I sell on, have you ever had a car ceramic coated? Have you ever owned a car that's ceramic coated? No. Oh my God, dude, I'm going to be your new best friend. Why? Because you're actually going to enjoy looking forward to cleaning your car. It's not going to be a Sunday chore. You're going to be excited to get out there and clean it, because it's truly going to be an enjoyable experience. And once your car's coated, you're going to notice driving around town, there's other cars that just have a certain glow to them. Mm-hmm. And you're going to know that car's coated. You can just see it. And more importantly, what most of my clients notice, sir, is that their car stays cleaner much longer than other cars. So even if you don't have time to wash it, it's always going to be presentable. You can always pull up and not feel like you're driving a dirty car. And that's, none of the things I just said are facts. Those are all emotional touch points, so sell on that, and second thing is I stopped being vanilla, like I was saying to you earlier, Chelsea, if you're vanilla, no one's going to love you and no one's going to hate you. Everyone's just going to be kind of whatever about you. He's all right. He's cool. You're never going to be in conversation in a room where you're not there. So just show up as yourself. Then you don't have to hide. You don't have to lie. You don't have to put a mask on before we start taking a video. I'm not Mr. Beast on my reels, because that's not how I am in real life. I am, in the way in my reels as I am in real life. So when I pull up, you already feel like you know me, so that's what I would say. Stop being vanilla. Just, if you want to post a video with a gun and a polisher, post it. If you want to post a video with some hard rap, post it. If you want to cuss. Like, just do whatever you want to do. And people, like, again, earlier I was saying, like, I got videos of me polishing a old car with a rotary one-handed with an AR pistol in my shoulder.
That was the first picture that I ever saw from you, and you caught my attention.
For sure. Caught a lot of people's attention.
It worked.
And I can tell you for a fact, I lost future clients in Sarasota from that, but I can also tell you for a fact that I've gained clients from that. I mean, the guy who we did that car with, I sent him the video and I said, yo, is this cool if we post that? And like, he loves us now. He thinks we're hilarious. And I'm like, dude, your car's safe with us. And, all of me and Steve both are holding.
Literally.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and then it allows you to have fun. Like, once you master, the truth is, like, a lot of these guys quit before they actually become a master detailer. Like, I'm a master detailer. I know how to do everything that I do. I've encountered every situation. So once you get past that point, you can start having fun and you can start enjoying yourself, talking more to your clients, being more laid back, building the relationships, because that's what you want to focus on. Build the relationships, build them deeper, wider, more.
What do you think is more important as a detailer, being able to cultivate the relationships with a customer or actually do the detailing job?
Detailing job. For sure. Yeah. I mean, that's what we're selling, right? I'm not a therapist, but I know more people's secrets than anyone in this town. I'll tell you that. Like,
I think, well, it sounds like it's a both and though with you.
It's both. I mean, it's not,
Yeah,
but if you
because
give me a question, I have to answer black or white,
oh, I
I would
know,
say
and I know a lot of
quality.
people say, like, if you're not a good business person, you're not gonna do well in this business, and I think some people get so hung up on efficiency and skills that they
Yep,
overlook kind of the both and aspect of it, but you could be
all
a
of it.
phenomenal salesperson and a crappy detailer, and, I mean,
Still be successful,
yeah. I mean,
for
you might
sure,
not have a lot of repeat customers, you might get a
for
lot
sure.
of one-offs,
I mean, I
but
was just at a guy's shop last week that has a big truck shop, builds really nice rigs. And he's like, dude, I've used this guy, I've used that guy, I've used this guy, I've used that guy. This guy pulls up looking professional as hell, details suck. This guy pulls up looking like, yo, park in the back of the building, but his details are awesome. But he's so stoned you can't even talk to him. It's like, yeah, I mean, and then the guys that do both, like me, that pull up professionally and are a true professional detailer, you're still not answering the phone as fast as I am. You're still not reaching out. Like you can't, you just have to keep just attack, attack, attack. Like I can confidently say, like, no detailer in this town is on the level that I am simply because, like, I know how hard I'm working. Like, you might be able to get another hour in there because you don't have a family and kids, but the passion's not there. Like, I'm obsessed with this stuff. It's a game. Business is a game.
Well, and you said before we went on the air, there's how many detailers in your area?
Oh, a couple hundred for sure.
So it's a super saturated market. Like,
Incredibly saturated. Since I moved here in 2017, there was 5 of us. I knew all 5.
what do you
Now
feel
it's
like has led you to stand out amongst so many different businesses?
I mean, half of them have gone out of business. Now there's another half. It's like high school. It's freshmen turn to seniors, then they graduate and they go away. Only so many people. And I've been in town now, like there's 2 companies that are still with me. So those are the guys I look at. Like, what can I learn from them? And they both are way bigger than me, but they were already established and doing their thing when I moved here. Just don't pay them any mind. I mean, yeah, don't pay them any mind. I mean, just keep focusing on your own thing. Keep focusing on the client. How do you just wow every single person that you come in contact with?
Tanner says, how do you stay creative enough to write 3 or 4 sentences for a thank you note for a first time client?
Well, that starts with you got to know how to ask the right questions, because if you just go to a client's house and you don't really care to learn anything about them, know anything about them, you're not going to have anything to write. So, Tanner, when you go to their house, you need, like, my goal every morning, we go to the same gas station. I talk to the same Indian dude that owns the gas station, Pete. Love him. But every morning, I have a goal to try to not talk about the same thing. Don't say the same thing. Like, come up with something different every morning. And when you're thinking like that, like, you're going to start getting creative, So I'll go to your house. Oh, Tanner, maybe the dog ran out. What's the dog's name? There's your, second sentence. Hey, Tanner, I really appreciate you having me out today to work on your WRX. I had a blast detailing this. It was also great to meet your buddy, Rocket. He reminds me of my dog, my childhood dog. You need to know how to ask the right questions to learn more about them. And, it's not a set question. I'm not getting there and then interviewing you with the same 4 questions, or it's going to feel robotic. I'm getting out as much information as I can from you in about a minute without,
Mhm.
I'm going to ask typically, do you have kids? Are you married? You guys been traveling lately? You guys got any vacations coming up? You guys ever going out in the water? Things like that. So I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see you guys out on the water this summer. Be sure to come to Midnight Pass. It's the best spot on the water, and all these things that I get out of people, I type in my CRM and my notes right when they walk back into their house. So
Mm.
then a year later, when I'm back at Chelsea's house, when the dog runs out, I greet the dog with their name. You're going to be like, the fuck? And then I say, hey, Chelsea, how was your daughter's wedding in Italy? This was a client. I said, Mike, how was I know you said you guys were going to Italy for your daughter's wedding, dude. I can't even believe you had enough money to fly home, and he's laughing, you got to get people laughing. That's the biggest thing. Like, if I can learn stuff about you while simultaneously making you laugh while you're answering my questions, like, I got you right where I want you.
That's awesome. Occasional detailer says always open ended questions.
The hell does that mean?
Meaning that you're asking a question that is not like a yes or no.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, some of those can be, I think the questions I ask, like, are you married? And I'm not just saying, hey, Mike, thanks for having us out today. Are you married? It's very casual. It's in conversation. Like, again, back to books. Like, I read a bunch of books on psychology. So it's like driving a manual. Like, when I first was doing it, I was like, all right, let me remember this one thing and see if I can implement this into a conversation. How to win friends and influence people, talk less, listen more than you talk, get the right questions out of them. Because anytime you've ever left somewhere and you're like, man, I really like that chick, Chelsea, it's probably because I did more talking than you. And I just talked about myself and I actually just like myself. That's typically how it works. So if you can get someone talking about themselves, they're going to lead the conversation and be like, man, I really like that guy.
Detailer Go says, do you ever get clients that call and ask you if you have a cheaper service because their car is already ceramic coated and well maintained?
Oh, well, that's awesome that you already have your car ceramic coated. So that, obviously means you're a car guy. You already know about it. I don't have to educate you on it. No, we don't have any cheaper maintenance pricing, but because every time we come out, we put a ceramic spray topper on it. So that's going to ensure that your ceramic coating stays the foundational base layer. We put this top layer on, and that's going to help protect it for longer. So no, sir, to answer your question, we don't offer cheaper pricing because your car is already ceramic coated.
Very, very articulated point. It sounds like you've said that a few times before.
I can't tell you how many times I've been asked that.
What is your end game when you
to that?
Go ahead.
Guess who has ever said no? No one. They just say, all right, sounds good.
They were just looking for a coupon code.
People give out discounts when it's not even needed. But big companies will do that. Anytime I make a big order, I'll call the company. Hey, Ashley, I got about $700 in my cart. You got any coupon codes for me? I'd really appreciate it. They'll give you one. But if you call me, no. I'm not big enough yet.
Well, Gabe had said earlier, Adam said, don't do discounts. I followed that, and it has kicked a lot of the tire kickers.
My rule is I don't do discounts. I either do it for free or it's full price. And every now and then I'll bless someone with a free detail.
Well, and I even saw there was it an employee or someone that was walking somewhere that you raised money for an electric bike or something?
Yeah, his name's Mike. Super good dude. So we saw Mike. We see Mike every other morning at the gas station by us. We talked to him. He's like, hey, man, you're a mobile detailer. Let me get some, he's a Jiffy Lube tech. He's like, let me get some cards from you. So I give him a stack of cards. 4 days later, hey, man, let me get another stack. I'm like, the hell did you do with that? He's like, I already gave him out. I'm like, oh, shit. So I gave him another stack. And then he calls me to schedule he was paying to get one of his coworkers' trucks detailed. He was paying for it. I get there, Mike's not working that day. I get to talking to his coworker, and he doesn't have a car. So I just popped in my head, damn, let's go get this guy a bike. I got a client that owns an e-bike shop. So let's just go buy him a bike. I go up there. And again, I'm like, I don't really have money to buy this guy an e-bike right now, but he doesn't have a car. And the guy was telling me that he Ubers to and from work every single day. He makes $450 a week, and he spends $200 a week on Uber.
Wow,
that leaves him with $1,000 a month, and his rent's $900. So he's like, bro, Mike literally works for tips to eat. And he Ubers to work at 6 a.m. because it's that much cheaper. He hangs out with Pete, the Indian owner, for an hour and a half, then walks quarter mile down the street to Jiffy Lube, and then waits until 8 o'clock because it's cheaper to go home. And he's been doing that for, I found out, 7 years.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I would be in a dark place after 7 days doing that. So we go to the bike shop. I make a post. It's live for an hour. No one's donated anything. I'm like, oh God, but I'm not going to let other people dictate Mike's future because I have the ability to dictate Mike's future. So I go there anyways, call up my buddy that's not there and tell him, he's like, dude, any bike in my showroom, you can have it. He's like, we'll figure it out later. I'm not worried about it.
Wow.
Dude. So yeah, we ended up raising $4,000 in a day and went back, paid the bike shop owner back $2,000 for the bike and gave Mike the bike and $2,000 cash.
That's awesome.
I love it. I mean, honestly, the truth is, because like I said, I don't let people bother me when people come at me because I know in my heart I'm a good dude. I help people out constantly. One of the things I pray for, my most consistent prayer every night, is I pray that God puts someone in front of me tomorrow that needs my help.
That's all my prayers good prayer to have.
Yeah, I mean, put someone in my path that needs help. Maybe a few bucks, maybe a smile, maybe a hug, maybe a door open for them, maybe a conversation. Just put someone in, and then I'm mindful of it.
That's actually really inspiring. I am a follower of Jesus. Like I am a Christian, and I can't say that I've ever actually prayed that prayer because sometimes I'm scared to pray that prayer.
Yeah, but I've realized, like, again, like, I've prayed that prayer a lot, and then when I get to things like Mike, I'm like, all right, it's Mike for today. And some issues are bigger than others, but in that case, we just saved him $800 a month now. Now
Yeah.
he's got
You've
2 grand
changed his
cash.
life.
Yeah, I mean, we probably did, and yeah, we love Mike. I mean, he's a good dude, he's a really good dude. He just has no money. Some people need some help. So that's one of my detriments. I mean, it's like I'm very generous, but I'm generous too much that like it could hurt me. I could hurt my own family with my generosity. So that's something I work on, but I'll always be that way. Like my plan is to, like, when we get to the point, even now, like I do about 5% of revenue for client gifts, but eventually I want to get it to, I've been looking into starting maybe a 501c3 where it's like a, some kind of thing where like 2% of every detail goes to a fund that maybe we have a raffle every month for something to get some more money in. And then
That's awesome.
yeah, whenever we see someone that needs some help, we can bless them with some money, bless them with a hotel room, get them an e-bike, whatever, get them a plane ticket back to go see their family, whatever it may be. I love that kind of stuff. That stuff fires me up. It's like, what I realized back to God is that that's God's way. When you give something and help someone, it's the best feeling in the world. Like giving Mike that bike was 1,000 times better than going to pick up my new jet ski. Like it's not even comparable. But I realized that's God giving you that feeling to say, this is what I want you to be doing, as a child of mine. And it's, and I tap into that and I'm like, all right, if I do this, God's going to give me this feeling. And it's like, part of it is selfish, but ultimately it's rooted in selflessness.
The book that I was mentioning earlier, The Dream It, Pin It, Live It, talking about having sort of a manifesting or a vision board that you put your goals down. But one of the things that it was talking about was to have this almost anticipated gratitude for what God is going to do in your life, and then to give out of that overflow of gratitude. It sounds like you're doing
I think about it all
exactly
the
just
time.
that.
I mean, I think about like I said, my guy's going on a cruise with us every year. We're going to do paid for vacations where you're still getting paid and the vacations for free. And I visualize that to the point where eventually we got enough employees, their families, a cruise is costing $150,000. But it's like, how do we have, again, we're going to have so many detailers on the streets that it's like, keep in mind, boys, like who do you run into or who do you see every day that looks like they could need some help, tap into that. And it's like, yeah, God's got the rest. It's all good. It always comes back. Money's a tool. It's meant to be used. It's just as much of a tool as a hammer is.
I think you have a really healthy approach to this.
I hope. It feels good in my heart.
It's different. I'm not hearing other people really treat business and detailing like this. That's why I was so kind of drawn into what you were doing on social media, because it just felt so different from what others are doing. But at the same time, like, I know it's probably hard for people to replicate what you're doing because you're coming from a place of authenticity. You're not
it's hard to
replicating
replicate,
someone
but it's
else.
also hard for me. Like it's not easy. Like none of this is easy. Everything is hard. But
is all of this a part of your 30-year plan that you were talking about? Like, who gave you the first idea to just like go crazy big like this?
I gave myself the permission. I gave myself permission on everything. I'm my own person, but it comes down to, I visualized if I won the lottery, a lot of money, $1 billion, what would I do? What would I actually do? Once the yachts and the parties and the girls are done, now I'm married, but you know what I'm saying? Once the fun's over, how do you spend your time? You can only lay on a beach for so long before you start going stir crazy. So I realized I want to build an incredible facility with customer service. Like I visualize the Ritz-Carlton paying me for consulting. I think about that all the time because they're going to, because our place is customer service is going to trump theirs. Like it's not even going to be comparable. And we're just a car wash, but they're going to be paying me for consulting. So it's like, no, I visualized a huge shop with a lot of things going on in it, not just detailing. And I visualize, all of that, everyone making $100,000. But if you want to start here, you start as a doorman. Every employee starts as a doorman. and you're a doorman for a month. Show me you can remember people's names. Show me you can come to work every day with a smile on your face. Show me you act like you care, and then you'll move up, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I visualize all that stuff. Like I said, I visualize the employees' parking lot. I visualize my guys pulling up in Raptors and Porsches and Benzes, and I don't visualize me pulling up. I visualize that kind of stuff, where it's like, all right, these guys actually love me and I love them. We're taking care of each other, but we also hold each other accountable.
What's that like for your wife to have that big of goals and dreams? Like, does she fully support you? Does this scare her?
No, I mean, she doesn't even know half the shit in my head.
It probably would scare her a little, but at the same time, she'd be very proud.
Yeah, I mean, there's no substance really to be proud of yet, though. Like, there's not much proof yet. I mean, the plan is working, but it's
I was going to say, your track record so far is showing that.
Yeah, it's working. I mean, she doesn't have to work. I mean, all the bills are covered. Everything's covered. Our investments are covered every month. Like, but we still don't have we're just renting this house, we're not doing anything crazy yet, so it comes in pieces, eventually the next thing will be a house, and then, get her a G-Wagon, start getting her some stuff where she knows it's working. And I think, I kind of look at it like that. I get her a G-Wagon, she'll be off my tail for a few years. Get her a house, she'll be off my tail for another few years. And then eventually she'll understand what's happening. But no, she doesn't understand it. Like, I visualize it in my head like 120 employees working under one roof.
We have a few more questions here. If the client has multiple vehicles and has you come up for 3+ details, would you adjust the price?
Hell no, dude. You already know the answer to this. No, of course not. Why would you give a discount? You have to do the same thing on every car. No. I've had a client reach out and we did 40 employees' cars. No one got a discount.
Do you do maintenance packages? And do you just book them for an express detail?
I hate the word express. It insinuates cheap quality. And no, I don't have maintenance packages. To answer your question, every detail is what I call a level 1 in my business. Okay. Still an inside out, wipe down, vacuum, door jams, glass, clay bar, wax, all that stuff. 180 to 225. We could do it once a year. We could do it every single day. That's the price.
Would you ever move towards marine or aviation?
Definitely. We're going to, for sure. We're going to.
Is there a different approach to detailing those vehicles,
It's more so just getting access. I mean, all materials are very similar. Yeah, you got, this might have gel coat. This might have, avionics. You got to be careful of this or that. It's more so getting access. How are you going to detail a 90-foot boat? How are you going to detail a Gulfstream? How are you going to reach the roof? Things like that. Liability insurance is one of the things because, we don't do boats, we don't do planes, but eventually we'll probably have 3 divisions of Detailers of Sarasota where we have the aviation, marine, and the mobile detailers. And that is, part of the plan to, like I said, my 30-year plan, I'm backtracking. So ultimately how I visualize it in my head, the building's going to cost probably $25 to $30 million. And I've just realized that if I can get the down payment and finance it for a year, then we're good. It's going to work. So get back to that point, I'll probably need $5 to $7 million cash for a down payment on the loan. And I visualize that being aviation, marine, and mobile and the Detailers of Sarasota, maybe 2 to 3 vans each. And yeah, that combined should be doing, probably about $5 million a year. So do that for 5 years and hopefully stack some cash, invest the money in the meantime, and pull it out in 5, 6, 7 years and get that down payment money ready.
Nice.
But again, even then, like I visualize that a lot. I visualize having, $7.65 million and wiring $7 million and going back to not a millionaire anymore. I visualize being a multi-millionaire and then no longer being. And I visualize, how's that going to feel? What's my stress going to be like? How am I going to manage that stress? How am I going to communicate that to my wife when we just had the golden ticket and I just gave it away? That's going to be really hard conversations. That's going to be a hard point in my life, even though, that's what I'm trying to articulate. Like, I visualize it being the best time, but it's also going to be very challenging for my marriage, my kids at the time. It's going to be challenging on a lot of aspects, but I know in my heart that I've done the math. I know I can have a $20 million a year business. I know we can get this loan paid off in 3 years and then generate 20 million a year. I've visualized it, and then I visualize the feeling of that, like, holy fuck, I did it. My bad. I don't know if you're allowed to cuss on here, but can't
Other
stop
people
me.
do.
You got to have the beat button ready. But no, I mean, like, yeah, I take all of that stuff very seriously, you know, but it's all in my head right now, which is why I probably have a lot more anxiety than the average Joe, you know. But no, even tonight, I'm going to go and I visualize my future. I visualize when I'm 57 years old pulling into this place, what it's going to look like, getting greeted by everyone. You know, we're going to have a doorman that no one ever is going to touch the front door going in or out of our business. There's a door guy, and he's going to know your first name. You know, it's like, I think about all that stuff, and, you know, that's what I do every night. I visualize, and I get really specific, and it can be hard to get specific. Your brain wants you to stay vague, almost because I think it's a fail safe. If you stay vague, it never really was a real goal. I didn't really want it that bad. Well, wasn't really serious about it. If you get specific, it's harder to back out of that because in your heart of hearts, you know the truth. But that's my truth. I mean, my wife knows that if I am not where I want to be when I'm 40, 50, I'm going to be a miserable person, and she's not going to be married to me anymore. It's just the truth. You know, so a lot's riding on it. You know, my marriage is riding on it. Lots riding on it. But it's more so because I know if I don't do it, I won't be able to live with myself.
That's a lot to just like hear, process. Like I'm sitting here, you know, as someone's wife, you know, picturing my husband saying all those things to me. And there's a part of me that's like, yeah, that sounds terrifying. You know, and at the same
Yeah.
time, you know, I can see the drive in you. I can see that you I think understand what it's going to take to get you to that point, and you're willing to put in the work. And I think that's what a lot of people lack is
I'm
the
committed to it.
drive, the hustle, the willingness to put in the work, you know. But at the same time, I'm hearing you say all those things, and then you're like, I work 4 days a week. I spend time with family. So it does seem like you are not, there's certain things that are sacred, certain things that you're not willing to compromise and sacrifice. And I
My
think,
success is for sure one of them.
yeah, but I mean, like, your family is not one of them.
Correct.
And that to me is
Well, that's the biggest
commendable,
thing, because if
because
I
I
built
feel
a
like,
business and there wasn't a family, there's no point.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like a lot of people in this industry, and I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, but I see people who are super successful, and it just seems that they lose the people that they love along the way. You know, they sacrifice their relationships. Like, what are some of the things that you have really tried to work hard at protecting your marriage relationship? Because when you have a grind, when you hustle to be as successful as you are, that takes time away from your family and things like that. Like, how do you put those boundaries in place
I mean,
other
it's
than just
hard. I
simply
mean, I'm
saying,
not,
nah?
but if you ask me, I would imagine my wife would say the same, that we have a great marriage. Everything's good. But again, it's also hard. Like, we have a 4-year-old and a 5-month-old, you know, life's hard. But, you know, I tell her, I remind her often. Like, I mean, I tell her I love her every 10 minutes. Every time I see her, she hears it 100 times a day. You know, I remind her, hey, I got to go get on this podcast because this is going to help us with something. This is going to lead us closer. I tell her right when I came in here, I said, we're one day closer. She knows what that means, you know. But again, yeah, I mean, it's hard. You just got to give them time. You know, I think I could work on that more for sure. But I'm also, I'm equally as aware that if I stay married and I'm not successful, I'll be equally as ruined as if I built the business and I didn't have a marriage. So, like, yeah, I truly need both, you know, and I believe you can have both. I know people have done both.
Mm-hmm. It just
You
takes a
know?
lot of hard work.
Yeah, it's going to take a ton of work, but life's hard. It's supposed to be. If you want to do anything good, I mean, if you want your life to be easy, you're probably going to be a loser.
Gabe wants to know, what are some psychology books you'd recommend? Because it sounds like you've done a lot of research, a lot of reading about that. Because just the things that you're talking about, they seem to be very Psychology based.
Psychology. Hold on, let me see. I got a lot of buddies giving books out. I like Extreme Ownership by Jocko. That's a good book. Atomic Habits. You read that, Chelsea?
No.
That's a good book. Let me just grab them so I can just show you guys the face of them.
And while you're grabbing those, Detailer Go, yes, this will be up on our Spotify and Apple podcast channel for you to listen to after the fact. But anyways, go ahead.
Atomic Habits. That's a good one. Let me find the restaurant book real quick. Oh, sorry, I literally have a stack of books on top of my gun safe that's about to fall over. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Okay.
That's a good one. How to Win Friends and Influence People is definitely a psychology book. Yeah, I mean, Gabe, I'll send you a picture. Gabe, I got your information. I'll send you a picture of all these books.
Okay. All right. I know we've been all over the map with this podcast episode, ranging from where you got your start. And I feel like there's been some fantastic questions from friends and followers of you trying to figure out what it is, the keys to success. But I have a few specific questions that I wanted to ask you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, shoot.
What are some common mistakes you see other detailers making in this industry that you think are holding them back?
They try to do too much stuff.
And you're not? Because it sounds like you're doing a lot of stuff.
All I'm doing is detailing.
But as far as the customer service side, it does seem like you're doing a lot of stuff.
I do a ton of stuff, but that's my job. But I don't do a ton of services. I'm not doing window tint. I'm not doing PPF. So when you say
they're doing too much stuff, you mean services?
Yeah, they start offering too many services.
Okay.
I see it all the time. All the time. I mean, local guys, a guy messaged me that's my competitor. Oh, bro, when are you going to start doing PPF? Never. Like, you're safe. You're good. I'm never going to do PPF. I don't care that you got a higher ticket. Like, I'm staying in my own lane because a lot of guys go wide. I'm going deep and down. You know, and that's what's going to make me a multimillionaire. Like, one-step polishes are going to make me a multimillionaire. You know, when we have the car wash, like my idea of the wash, it's going to be an express car wash. It's not going to be a PPF shop. It's not going to be a shop that does really high tickets. We're going to be like $200 average tickets, but they're going to be in, out, in, out, in, out. And we're going to be doing $20,000, $30,000 days.
Days?
Yes.
Well, you have big dreams.
For sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, we'll be doing, probably, I mean, the way I do it, like I've already built out the garage in my head, and I know that we're going to have probably 12 bays, but let's say 10 bays for simple math. If we have 100 cars come in that day at $100 a pop, that's 10,000 a day, which is $3.5 million a year. So if we have 100 cars, that's 10 cars per bay, per hour. And that $100 detail, 2 guys can do in 10 minutes. So that means every hour of the whole day, 50 minutes are wasted just smoking cigs, waiting on the next car to come in. 50 minutes on every hour. That's $3.5 million a year. So if you take that to capacity, you're talking 17 to 20. So I don't know. I mean, what is 20 million a day? I mean, let's say by 320 days maybe. Yeah, I mean, that's 62,000 a day.
That's insanity.
I think we'll do it because I already visualized 20, 30 days. I know once we're at that point, you can double it.
Do you think there's that many cars that need cleaning that consistently where you live?
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
I think the market has all to do because you could be in Kansas and someone have these same goals and it's a completely different market, a completely different, you know.
Well, then move. We're in America. You can move.
We can't all move to Florida.
Sure you can.
I
come
lived
compete
there.
with me.
I have no desire to go back there.
Go wherever you want. It's a free country. If you're in literally, like I hear it all the time, like, I'm in this little bum town. Like, okay, well then it shouldn't be that hard for everyone to know you. Like, if there's only 4 gas stations then all the gas station owners should know you. If there's only 5 pizzerias, then all of them should know you. Like if there's only 7 real estate agents, all of them should know you. It's that much easier. Like it's just excuses. I mean, people are filled with excuses all the time. I mean, I talk to people that are literally in cities I've never heard of, towns I've never heard of, and they're killing it. You know, move your market. Like you said, if that's not your market, then go spray big ag equipment. You know, it's like, know your market. If you're in New York, set up a parking garage, quick wash.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're in Florida, it's all about convenience. Go to their house. You know, you need to adjust and pivot.
When you say detailers are doing too much, what would you recommend be like? What is all that's needed?
Not much. I mean, when I say they're doing too much, it's fine to do a lot, but not before you've mastered it. You have to master it. And then you can do something else. Like right now, I've already mastered detailing. I've mastered coatings. I've mastered paint corrections. Now, if I wanted to, sure, I could do window tinting, but I'd rather just find more people that want to pay me for that. You know, it's so much easier. So I think, yeah, I mean, what's another mistake? They don't reach out to clients. I mean, once the sale's final, it's done. They never hear from you ever again. I mean, I got 6 automated emails that send out from the next day to 12 months later. You know, and it worked. That guy at Best Buy was like, oh, dude, I just got your email like an hour ago. Like, what are the odds of that? You think I remember that guy's name? Like, I would have never hit him back, you know, all the time. But, you know, I go and call people, say, hey, Chelsea, just passed by your house, was thinking about you. How you been? How's the family? You know, and most people will talk about their family for a minute. And then most people like Chelsea are going to be like, how you been, Adam? What's going on? How's the business? Oh, business is great, man. Family's good. Kids are happy and healthy, dude. Everything's trucking right along. Oh, hey, Chelsea, I got to go. I got another client calling me. I didn't need anything. Just wanted to, you know, check in, say what's up. All right, bye-bye. So like, that's psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I say, hey, Chelsea, I didn't need anything. I was just checking in. I got another client calling. Bye-bye. It's so casual. You don't even pick up on it. But I'm saying, 1, I didn't need anything. And 2, I got another client calling me. So that insinuates to you that you're also a client of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I also didn't need anything. So when you hang up and your husband's like, who was that? Oh, it was Adam with Detailers of Sarasota. What did he want? Nothing. He was calling to say what's up. And then 3 weeks later, you're going to hit me up to get your husband's car detailed.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. You got to stay on their mind, you know?
It definitely takes a lot of initiative, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's common sense, but it is work. Like, again, like I said, I can give 1,000 guys my game plan, my roadmap, everything I do. 995 of them aren't going to do anything. Or they'll do this or that, or they'll pick and choose. And that's what they don't realize. Like, it's not 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things. It's 100 things working in synchronicity. Like, do you really think it would matter if I pulled up in my van, but I just had like an Old Navy t-shirt on?
Mm-hmm.
Like, would it matter if I pulled up in a busted truck, but I had a sick uniform? No, like all of it goes together. It's all of that. It's my business card. It's my trifold. It's my Instagram. It's how I talk, how I communicate. Everything working in synchronicity is what makes things work. It's not one big thing. It's not my website. It's not just my van. It's all of them.
Next question I have for you. What improvements or changes would you like to see in the detailing industry?
I mean, it's an egotistical answer, but it's going to be when I create what I'm creating. It's going to be, that is going to set the new standard. It's based on customer service. You know, I think most detailers suck at that. Like, they're not personable. They don't really care. You know, they might act like they care, but they don't genuinely care. You know, and that's 2 totally different things. Like, you need to, again, back to, like, I genuinely care that, you know, your daughter just got married, you know, and I'm going to bring it up. You know, a lot of these guys, it's just a dollar amount. Like, you just got to be thinking past that. You got to be thinking, how do I wow this person and just get them to tell their friends about me, get them to tell their spouse about me. And a lot of guys aren't thinking like that. Like, improvements or changes, I can't really think of, like, I mean, shit, I hope it doesn't change because I'm just going to keep bulldozing these dudes. Like, and even if it does, I might learn something and then bulldoze them harder. Like, I don't really look at it like that. Like, I'm not really up on the industry. Like,
You stay in your lane.
I'm staying in my lane. I'm super hyper focused. Like, I think the detailing industry in whole is awesome. I mean, I've seen it blow up since 2017. Like, there's new products, new tools, new shit every single week. It's constant. So I love the detailing industry to just keep doing what it's doing.
Well, and I think you have a kind of a fresh perspective because I feel like you are on social media, but you're not the typical content creator. Like, you are promoting yourself. You're not promoting products. And I
Right.
think that's actually really fresh. And I think that is actually a change that would probably do really well for some people. And here I am saying that as a content creator,
It helped me a
as
lot.
someone
I
who
mean,
I
showing
do
my
promote, like
face.
I see that you do that, and it's fresh, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't talk about products or anything. I just kind of show what we're doing, what we're working on, show my face. You know, that's the biggest thing. You want to show your face. Like, I just recently started doing that, and it's like, it's huge because now when like guys, I'll message them, we'll go back and forth, we'll talk for 2 months, and they book a detail, and then when I see them in person, we're already dabbing each other up. Like, they already know me. You know, if you're not showing your face, they don't know who the hell they're. Like, are you Adam? Like, when I hop out the van, they're like, "What's up, dude?" Like, they already know me. They've seen my family already. They've seen my dogs. They've seen, you know, they've seen the videos. They already know what we're about. They've seen the cars we've worked on.
My final question for you before we end the podcast episode, and hopefully you guys, if you have any other questions, hit them up now so that way we can get them in before we wrap things up. But if you could go back in time and give advice to your younger self, what would you say to them?
All money goals, I would say you don't need as much things as you think. You know, save your money, invest your money. You know, I think that's huge. I mean, advice to my younger self, I would say, freaking work harder. Like, just work harder. Be relentless. Because the truth is, like, I worked so hard yesterday, but I already forgot about it. Like, I worked so hard today, but I already forgot about it. Like, it's already out of my head. Like, when we pull up to a job and it's just clapped, I'm like, it's all good. We're going to be done with it before we know it. And then it's done. Like, you just got to attack. Like, just chew it up like Pac-Man. Just keep going. Don't let outside things persuade you, influence you. Like, a lot of people in this industry, or just in general, a lot of people in general will give you wrong advice that might sound like good advice, but they know that's going to sidetrack you for a year, sidetrack you for 6 months, 2 years. So then they can get a little further ahead than you. Because people are kind of scarce minded like that. Like, you got to be very careful who you take advice from. Like, you know, so I said, you know, I lost all my inheritance, or I didn't lose it. I blew it. You know, strippers got half of it, honestly. But, you know, when I rebuilt it, I found someone that came to be my brother, not knowing he was screwing me out of money with all these bad investment advices. And the next thing I know, my 300 grand that I worked back is all gone. You know, like, you got to, I'd say in my personal experience, be a little more weary. You know, stay in your own lane, stay focused. The truth is, everyone already has the answers inside of their head. They're just kind of looking for approval. Like, everyone that hits me up, they already know what the hell they should be doing. Like, they just hope I give them a different answer. Like, people hit me up, hey man, how do you recommend getting jobs? Oh man, dude, send me your website. I don't have a website. What about your Google page? I don't have a Google page. I'm like, dude, then stop bothering me. Like, that's rude. Like, the amount of people that hit me up daily, hourly, like, with the dumbest stuff, like, I don't get it, because I never had anyone for that. Like, I didn't know anyone in Florida. I didn't know anybody. So,
do you offer training or like coaching to
only
people
thing
that
I do,
inquire?
which I'm not really a fan of, is just phone calls. Like, I'll do like $150 hour-long phone calls, but it's more so just to show, like, who I'm a fan of it, because it helps dudes. And now I started charging for it, because it's like, if you're not going to listen to me and take it seriously, then, like, yeah, I don't have enough time for it. But no, that's about it. I mean, I almost started a group this year, and then I'm just like, I backed out of it and refunded the people that gave me money for it already. I'm like, I'm not ready to teach. Like, I'm building a business. Like, again, back to some people that we mentioned, it's like, a lot of these guys will grow it, And then, hey, you want to make $10,000 a month, like do what I did. And it's like, dude, I would run laps around these kids. Like, they're not real operators. They're not real business owners. Like, again, like look at like last year, we did 2,300 clients. Like, you know how many conversations I had to have to book that? So it's like, it just comes in numbers. Like, I had probably 50,000 conversations last year. You know, so when you think about it like that, times 8, you know, I'm having a lot of conversations, you know, and that just comes with time. Like, that's part of the equation is time. Like, you can't rush the cake. Like, you already made the cake. Now let it bake and just sit back and just let it do its thing. And that's what I'm doing right now. Like, I call it aggressive patience. I'm aggressive, but I'm patient. Like, on the day to day, I'm super aggressive, super intentional. Like, I wake up equally blessed as I do just furious. Like, I'm furious every morning when I wake up. I'm just pissed off. Like, you know, I can't believe I'm not there yet. But long term, I'm patient. I told you I'm on year 3 of a 30-year plan. I have 27 more years to go before I give myself another option. You know,
Okay.
but I won't need another option. I'm never going to sell the business. It's going to be a cash flowing giant. I'll die with it.
Well, Likens Detailing says, with your competitiveness in the marketing, when do you plan to create a team to be able to focus on scaling? Because obviously you're doing great.
I mean, we're kind of working on that now, buddy. Like, when we get back from our cruise at the end of summer, Steve's going to start running Friday solo. My plan is to have him doing that for about 6 months, you know, because I was solo for years. He needs to be solo, know how to do it. And then hopefully around the start of the year, we'll hire a second guy or a third guy. And we'll get it to the point where all 3 of us are going. And then him and Steve are going out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm at home working in the office Tuesday and Thursday, or that same day. And then we just flip. So every week I'm in the office Tuesday, Thursday, next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday. So I'm only gone one day at a time. So Adam was with us yesterday and Adam's with us tomorrow. We can't let the standard slip, you know, because if he's back tomorrow, he's gonna see that we slowed down somehow, you know. So that's my plan of scaling, is I'd like to get it to the point in 3 years where I don't have to work in the business. Like, it's running itself. I have a guy for scheduling. I have a guy for sales. I have detailers. I don't have to do anything, but I'm choosing to work in the business every day. You know, and ultimately I'm an operator. Like, I got to work. I'm a worker. So it's never going to be like, my goal is not to be in the office in 3 years. I would go freaking crazy. Like, I need to get out in the field, talk to people, detail at least a couple of days a week. So that's how I see it going for the foreseeable couple decades.
Wow. Well, Adam, honestly, with everything that you said tonight, I'm actually really inspired. I am kind of, I don't know. Like, I feel like you have some of the loftiest goals that I've heard of anyone in the detailing industry, and it's extremely.
I mean, I haven't even told you about the nail salon at the freaking like.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, there's so much stuff in here that you don't even.
So it's going to be a utopia, basically.
Yes, you're going to walk in there. It's going to be truly incredible. I mean, we're going to have.
You said your wife does hair. Is there going to be a cosmetology branch?
No, she's not even
like, no, we're not going to combine the two
at that point. No, it's going to be, but again, like the nail salon, like it's going to be the best nail salon in all of Sarasota. Like, once word gets out of that, every woman's coming here, and like nails take an hour or two. Like, you're getting your car detailed.
That's actually really smart.
And again, like, back to customer service, everything's free. Like, I'll give you the 2-minute rundown on this, but like, I visualize at this point, because you have to remember, with my visualization, increased technology. So by the time I actually build this, I'm going to have probably 100 AI cameras surrounding the outside, inside of the building. So all we need is Chelsea to come in once, and then you're done. Like, if you come back a second time, the camera's going to pick up your face when your car door opens. The guy's laptop's going to pull up at the door. Oh, that's Chelsea. And then there's going to be facts about her. Chelsea,
that's not creepy at all, Adam.
You know, Chelsea, what's going on? It's great to have you back. And you're like, wow, the door guy knows my name.
You're profiling your customers.
And then 10 seconds later, you're still like, damn, that was. And then the guy comes up with, you know, he knows that Chelsea likes Diet Coke on the rocks. Hey, Chelsea, I went and got you a Diet Coke. Hope that's what you want to drink. If you want something else today, let me know. I'll go grab it right now. You're like, God damn. And then 10 seconds later, you're spinning an iPad around. You're checking yourself out, trying to figure someone's guiding you through. And then the next person comes over. Chelsea, would you like a tour? You want me to bring you to the nail salon? Would you like me to, just boom, 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 like just blow their fucking mind. And then it's like every morning when you come in there, we know Chelsea likes a double hot chocolate with a chocolate croissant. That's like, Chelsea, would you like your breakfast now, or would you like me to put it in your Porsche? It should be ready in about 6 minutes. You can leave it in the car. All the food's going to be free. All the drinks are free. All the everything's free. The only thing you're paying for is a detail. So like, how is Chelsea? And then you get in the car and you're like, this looks fucking perfect. And it was 12
I want to come every week.
Exactly. Like, how are you going to go to work and not vomit all that information on every coworker? And then the next day we got 4 of your coworkers coming in. So like, it's going to work. I mean, have you ever seen those, you look at cruises ever? You ever been on a cruise?
No, my husband will never set foot on a boat.
That's fair. So they got these interior rooms on cruise ships that they used to have a fake curtain behind. Now they got TVs on with curtains with like a live view camera. So from 3 feet back, it feels like it's a window. So I'm going to have massive TVs surrounding all the walls in this facility, upstairs, downstairs, everywhere, next to real windows. And then when we have themed car shows, we can just flick the switch and you walk in there and it's like putting virtual goggles on, but in the whole building. So every window you look out, you're like, we got a 50s car show theme. You look out, it's 1950s going all around us. You feel like you just teleported. Or this month we got, the Caribbean car show. You walk in there, it feels like you're in a shack on the beach. You can see people out there surfing, truly teleporting them while simultaneously in like customer service that's so good, it's borderline uncomfortable. Like, mixed with the environment when you walk out and you're like, holy, it's like when you take off the goggles, it's like, oh, like I just teleported. You ever done VR goggles? It's trippy.
Yeah.
Like, I know you can do that for a full building and you're going to walk out of there and be like, holy fuck, that place is nuts. Like,
well, if that building ever gets built, I can't wait to see it.
Just don't die. And if you do, come visit it in your spirit.
You have some of the biggest dreams. I'm serious. Like, I've never heard anybody have dreams this big within the detailing industry. And honestly, I wish you all the luck and success with it. I don't think it's going to be luck. I think it's going to be
you
drive.
Need a little luck for sure. But
yeah.
I mean, at that point, I'll start coaching, because if I ever do exit that with those revenue numbers, I mean, we're talking a couple $100 million exit from a detailing business. And I genuinely think that can happen. I really do. I mean, I'm dumb enough to think it can happen, but I'm ambitious enough to freaking try. That's for sure.
Well, I think I picked the right title for this YouTube or podcast
what is it called again? Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. And I think that's literally everything that you just said. You're all in. You're all in on yourself. You're all in on your dreams.
I'm just tapping you into my daily thoughts. It's literally all I've thought about for years. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, someone literally just had like the mind blown emoji, and that's kind of how I feel right now. This is the first time that I've ever really been kind of speechless, because I'm just like, here I am just wanting to pay for braces, and just wanting to pay for travel soccer for my kids.
And again, I don't have any of this stuff, Chelsea. It's all in my head.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
Close, but it starts with thinking about it.
Even if you get the tip of that, though, I think it's honestly going to be.
And it's going to be fun, because the truth is,
it's going to be fun to watch you try. That's for sure.
It's going to be 30%, 40% paid more than market value. Everyone there is going to love their job. So like, imagine 100 people under house. Everyone loves what they're doing. Like, not a lot of places have that, but that's going to require, I mean, my payroll is going to be multi-millions of dollars a year, but it'll come back. For right now, it's only 60 grand a year. So not bad, but eventually we're just going to keep moving up and up and up and up. And next thing you know, we're going to look up and be like, holy crap.
Yeah. I think you have some friends that have been cheering you on in the comment section.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I love all you guys. I mean, they know that. I've talked to a lot of these guys. I recognize all these names.
Well, I'm so thankful to all of your friends for hanging out with us tonight. Honestly, for anyone that is either just dreaming about getting into detailing, or maybe they've been in detailing and want to take to the next step, hopefully they've been encouraged, inspired, that obviously no dream is too small?
One last thing I'll leave them with. I did this for myself, and I still do it constantly. Make a list. So back to the lottery analogy, write down on a list of a big piece of paper. If you had it, owned it, it would increase the likelihood of your business. So if I had this new extractor, I would probably have more business. If I had better business cards, if I had online booking, it should be the if I had list. And don't worry about how I'm going to do it. If I had a bigger van, if I had a better wrap, if I had better uniforms, make an if I had list. Give yourself, don't think about money. Don't think about how you're going to get all the things bought. Just think about if someone just said blank check, give me a list of everything that you could have, possess, whatever, material, maybe technology, whatever it is. Write it all down, have 100 things on the piece of paper, and then go back and write a dollar amount, $2 amounts, or $3 amounts next to each one. And then from there, take 3 colored highlighters, green for single dollar, yellow for double, pink for 3. And then you can reorganize the list. Green, yellow, pink, and typically the most expensive things are going to take you the longest. Typically the cheapest are going to be the quickest. So you're going to have a clear, because that's something I struggled with. I don't have a problem doing the work, but when I started working for myself, I'm like, dude, if someone would just tell me what the hell to do, I can do it. Like if someone just came in here and just gave me a to-do list, I can do it. But like half the days I'm just like, dude, what the hell should I be doing right now? Make that list and you'll have a pretty damn clear order. Because that's something I messed up with when I started. I bought things out of order. I bought the 17th thing on the list when I should have been at number 6. I bought the trailer and then I was like, oh shit, now I don't have money for uniforms. Like make that list, put the dollar amounts, and you're going to have like, here's 20 things that I can get done in 2 weeks. Here's 20 things that I can get done this year. Website I can get done this year. All these things I can get done this year. Here's something that maybe might take a couple years. And then, get the list done and keep adding to it. Like that's how it goes. Like when you get close to the goal, move the goalpost. When you get close to the list, write a new list.
Great advice.
And I think that's helped me a lot.
No, that's great advice. So thank you guys. Honestly, Adam, thank you for
Chelsea.
taking the time to share with us your story, some of the things that have worked for you. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up and that you subscribe to Thor's YouTube channel. We're going to have a lot more fun and interesting podcast episodes for you guys in the next couple of weeks.
And we're on YouTube now too. So if anyone wants to check that out, we got hopefully some cool videos. We're trying to keep it original, all unique one-off stuff. So
where can they go to find you, Adam, if they want to find you on social media?
Detailers of Sarasota on everything, Instagram, YouTube.com, whatever, you name it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Adam, thank you again.
Thank you, Chelsea.
For coming on.
Appreciate talking to you and meeting you.
Same. Always a pleasure to get to hear other people's stories, and honestly, keep it up.
You too.
Stay grounded. Stay grounded is all I would say to you.
I'm going to keep talking that shit though, for sure. But I'm going to keep helping people. I'm going to go pray tonight to give me someone else tomorrow. You should too.
I will. Thank you for that encouragement. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Have a great night.
See you guys. Bye-bye.